Okay, so in today's video we are going to talk about heating, because that is a question I get often as far as how I heat the reptile room and individual cages and things like that. So let's get into it. Okay, so as far as heating goes, I actually just turned on the heating element unit for this rack here. I will get you a closer look at that here in a minute. But the other one of the important tools for this time of year is this right here, and that's an infrared heat gun. And you know, simply you can see the dot and it will read temperature. So this is a very handy tool to have, and that's what I'm going to use to help set the temperature on this. You know, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that I just recently purchased this. So this is technically the first winter that I'm using this. So I seen what the person had it set to previous, and but I don't know what kind of conditions this was in. I've got a whole room full of reptiles, and so with various different heating elements. So the room temperature, ambient temperatures could have been different for them depending on how they set this up. So what I did was well, let me just take you over here and take a look at it. Okay, so here is the heating control for the rack system here, which uses belly heat. And this cord right here in the middle, this is a cord that runs to a probe that is actually sitting down here. Let's take a look, and I believe it's this tub here. That is correct. You can see there, let me zoom in, the end of the probe is actually taped directly on top of the heating element, because that's critical. I want to make sure that I'm keeping control of that. And I put it on the middle tub kind of the rack system, and then I'll have to use this gun, and then I'll test each tub and kind of see what my temperature gradients are, and then I'll put animals in accordingly, because you know, like the ball pythons are going to want to be slightly warmer than some of the clubrids, so they will be in the hotter tubs, and the clubrids who can tolerate, you know, a little bit lower. And of course we're only going to be talking like maybe 2 or 3 degrees, I think. But we'll see how this plays out. We're going to have to give this time to kind of get dialed in, and then I'll come back and show you the temperatures fluctuation between the top tub and the very bottom tub, because there's going to be a difference because heat rises. So there will be a difference. What that difference is, I'm not for sure at this point. But right now you can see, no, you can't see because it's not focusing. You know, we're at 84.7. That's what the probe is saying it's at. And so we'll give it some time to actually warm itself up and kind of dial itself in, and then we'll check it with this to make sure everything is going all right. Okay, so while we're waiting for this unit to kind of settle in and you know, get it dialed in, we're going to move on to the next project for today, and that is also adding more heat source to the boa rack, the rack that has the boa in it, the ball python, and the pine snake. And that way I've got these sheets here. I've got 3 of them, 1 for each cage. This is also flex swat, same thing that's under this in this unit here, but this is actually a wider sheet. And I'm also going with a old school cheap method to control the heat, and this is a dimmer switch that I can, you know, turn the dial and it will increase or decrease the voltage going to the heat tape, and in turn that controls the heat. So this is not the best way, because you just simply plug into this and you have to use a secondary thing to monitor your heat, and you know, you just kind of have to just slowly increase this until you find your set point. The other unit that's on here is actually a much better route, and I would suggest going that way. But if you're in a bind or, you know, short on cash for short term, this isn't too bad. I will eventually going to replace these units. This is just old school stuff, and I had it laying around, so, and I want to just go ahead and use it for now, but this will eventually get replaced with a different unit. But because that one will, once the probe reaches the set temperature, it actually shuts off, and then it waits till it drops. I'm not sure what the temperature difference is, because I don't have the like owner's manual of that thing, so I don't know if it drops 5 degrees then it kicks on. But regardless, that thing is slowly kicking on and off to hold that temperature in position, whereas this will always just run that steady flow of electricity through there. So not exactly 100% safe, but like I said, this isn't a bad alternative for a short-term use. I know some people use these a lot, but again, I just like that one that has that function. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually hook it up to this rack here, but I've got to pull those tubs out and place the heat mat, and what I'll do is tape the perimeter with duct tape, and then I'll have to drill a hole maybe or something, but I've got to get this to this. And again, this will only work if all your heat mats are the same. So all three are going to get plugged into this. That's because all three are exactly the same size and using the exact same amount of wattage. You wouldn't want to use that in different sizes all off the same plug, because they're all going to plug into here. This plugs into the wall, and all those heat mats plug into this plug in here, and then they go through this box. I'm not going to show you how to put this together. I did make this myself. I have several of them. I don't want the liability of maybe you burning your house down or getting shocked or something. But if you really want to know how to make these, just Google it or YouTube it, and there is definitely people out there that will show you how to do this who don't mind that risk of liability. So let's get to it. Let's get this all hooked up and get this rack all dialed in as well today. Okay, so you can kind of see basically how this is going to get set up in here. I think I'm just going to bring the cord out the front, because you can see there's, even if I slide that down, there is, you know, quite a bit of room in between here, so that cord isn't going to pose any problem. And you know, we can just kind of, as you can see with the bull snake tub above, you know, we're going to get at least about 1/3 of that tub sitting on that mat, so that's going to be good. I couldn't find my duct tape, but this is actually the tape a lot of people use, and they actually sell this on the same website that they sell the FlexWatt heat tape there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this, and all I'm going to do is just go around the perimeter just to help hold that thing down, and then I will mount that dial switch that we've seen here earlier. That'll get mounted on the side, something like that, but obviously higher up, and then all the cords then will get plugged in. Can you see? No, you can't see what I'm doing. All the plugs will get plugged in just like that. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so now we've got it all set up. I have the heat tape just ran like this. It looks kind of cluttery, so I will drill holes in the back and run all this from the back side. You can see I've got the dial here, but you get the basic idea of what's going on. And it's been on for about an hour and a half. So let's go ahead and shoot this and we'll see what we are getting. Come on. No, you gotta stay. Stay. So right now I'm at, let that focus. 83 is where the temperature is setting at. There you go. Well, it just went off. Okay, so we're at 83. We're doing pretty good. I might turn up just a little bit. But 83 ain't bad. Of course, this has the, yep. You want to come out and say hi? There you go. So there's the old pine snake, you know, a favorite here on the channel. So we got the boa and the albino ball python on this rack as well, and I'm certain that there's same thing, right around 83, 82.9. So we're looking pretty good here. Like I said, the only thing I'm going to ultimately change here is when I get the time, I'll bring in the drill and I'll just drill a hole in the back side and we'll run these cords through that way and then we won't see them. So that is that. This project is pretty much done for now, and let's go look at how the other rack is warming up. Okay, so here we are in front of the other rack, and this one's pretty much faring the same way. This one's actually a little bit warmer at 88. So we're going to probably turn this down a little bit. But we're going to check them all. Let's see. That's 86.5. $84, 83. So you can see that there is a difference going on here. This one's actually the warmest at 93. And what about you? Okay, this one's 83. Let me do this one again. Alright, this one's 85. So I don't know how that shot up to 93. One thing that kind of will mess with this a little bit is there's actually a heater vent right there on the other side of these pictures, so that comes up. So I imagine actually this might help these bottom ones stay a little bit warmer. Typically the tubs at the bottom of the rack are cooler than the tubs at the top. But again, I'm feeling a lot of warmth coming from that register being blown through there right now. Yeah, the wall temperature behind this rack is 93, and the register is actually blowing right now. So, so these bottom tanks are going to be just a little bit warmer than the top, or actually they may end up just working themselves out. But we'll keep testing them until we get it dialed in to a comfortable range. So that is going to be it for this video. Hope this kind of helped you. Any questions, of course, leave them down below and I'll answer them the best I can. So till next time, later.
Shut up and sit down.